Happy FAQ Friday, everybody. It's Amanda from Spicer Marine back again. Today we are talking about the required safety equipment aboard your boat. It varies by size, it varies by state. So today I'm going to give you a general overview of what New York State requires. The Canadians are a little more stringent. We'll include a link to the Canadian safety equipment requirements in the video notes. But for today, I'm talking about what is required on the New York State side of the Great Lakes and the St. Lawrence River. The first thing that I have here on my desk is an anchor and 100 feet of line. If something happens when you're out there to your engine and you're unable to move, you're going to need an anchor and line. It's going to keep you in a safe position, or once you're able to get to a safe position until the Coast Guard or a towing company can come and get you back to where you need to go, you've got to throw this anchor out and hold your position. It's worth it to get it out and throw it and maybe pull some weeds and some mud back up, because if you drift out into the shipping channel, you're not going to be able to get out of the way of those freighters, and those freighters certainly can't get around you. So have an anchor with at least 100 feet of line. In some smaller boats, you can have a paddle instead of an anchor. It's not a bad idea to have both. Second thing here is not required, but it's a good idea, is a first aid kit. Self-explanatory. Get one if you don't have one on your boat. I carry one in my car and in my boat. Why not? It's just a good idea. Sound signaling devices. A lot of boats have horns built in already. That counts as your sound signaling device. If you don't have a horn built into your boat, you need either an air horn, or if you're small enough, a whistle will work. Something to let other people know that you're in trouble and you need their assistance. Or in some instances that they're in your way and they need to get out of the way. Always have a sound signaling device on board. After that, we've got our visual distress signals. This is a handy dandy new thing that we are giving out to people with new boat purchases. This is an electronic SOS beacon. So this, instead of having to replace this every 3 years like you do with your traditional flares, you only have to replace the 2D batteries that are inside it, and it stays kosher with the Coast Guard for infinity. There is also a daytime distress signal in here. There's an orange distress flag in here, so this covers you for daytime and nighttime. These flares here, if you read the labels very carefully, there are different kinds of flares. Some are only good for daytime, like smoke signals. Some are only good for nighttime. These ones here that we carry in the store, these are good for daytime and nighttime distress signals. You'll always need, no matter what size boat you're on, you'll always need something to let people know visually that you are in need of assistance. You may not ever have to use it, but you're going to need to keep it on board just in case you are in those dangerous situations. After that, we've got a fire extinguisher. This is required, and kind of like the first aid kit, it's self-explanatory. You may be surrounded by water on your boat, but you're not going to be able to pump it in and save yourself from a fire. So keep a fire extinguisher on your boat. If you check the bottom of the fire extinguisher, it will tell you when it was manufactured. They're good for 10 years, so keep your eye on that. Keep your eye on the gauge at the top of the fire extinguisher. That's going to tell you if it needs to be recharged or if it needs to be replaced. But fire safety, you may never ever have to use it, but if you need it and you don't have it, you're going to really wish you had it. So always keep a current good fire extinguisher on board with you. This is a size 10. This is good for boats up to 26 feet long. There are different kinds. There are 5s, there are watercraft, personal watercraft ones. Check with your state's legislation, make sure that you've got the right size and that it's current. After that, of course, our best friends out on the water are life jackets. You need as many life jackets on your boat as the maximum passenger capacity. So if your maximum passenger capacity is 12, you're going to need 12 life jackets. They can be this style. This is a Type 2 PFD. These are perfectly fine, and these are great because they'll stash into these carrying tote bags, and they're out of the way. You can just chuck 4 of them at a time into one of these bags, and you've got 4 ready to go if you need them. When you do put them on your boat, it's always a good idea to take these labels off and maybe unzip this bag or make sure it's got some mesh for ventilation. They will get a little moldy and gross if you don't check on them and make sure that they're staying dry and that there's nothing in there that's going to retain moisture with them. These are two different kinds of throwables. You're also required to keep a throwable on your boat. This is a life ring. We all know these. They are everywhere in boating and nautical imagery. More often on recreational vessels, motorized and non, you're going to have one of these super cool throwable cushions. Not all of them are going to be as awesome as my patriotic Bass Pro Shops one, but this is a requirement as well. Don't use them to sit on and float on. I know it's tempting because they are the perfect shape and they've got these little arm bands. These are meant for emergencies. You can get plenty of other really cool floaties and save these for when you need to save somebody that's fallen in the water or that is struggling to swim. So like I said, those are the required pieces of safety equipment for New York State. You can find through either your state's Department of Environmental Conservation or Parks and Recreation what's required from your state in terms of staying safe on the water. And like I said, we will include a link to what's required on Canadian waters in the notes on this video. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. All of this stuff I pulled from the ship store. So if you're up in the Thousand Islands this summer and you need something to update or include in your safety kit, we're here. We're happy to help you out. Have a great weekend and we'll see you next week.